Yeah, well, we're on day 4 now, right? So this is where we left off, day 3, where we were solving equations for y, and then we did, these are now in slope-intercept form. And so just to kind of recap from our last class, like if we had it in this form, our slope is 1/2, is always the number in front of the x, and our y-intercept was +4. And then you guys did a nice job of graphing those on the quiz. So we are headed here to day 4. All right, on day 4, first we're going to talk about vertical and horizontal lines. So your answers for the equation are either x equals or y equals. A lot of times students just screw them up and forget which one is which. It depends what line it passes through. So looking at this line, you see it goes through the y-axis. So the equation of that line, because it goes through the y-axis, is y equals -1. So our equation is y equals -1. So any horizontal line, okay, so if it's flat, any horizontal line, the equation is going to be y equals whatever number it goes through. Any vertical line, like this one, that goes through the x-axis, so that's going to be x equals. So that is x equals -3, right? 1, 2, 3, yes. X equals -3. So all horizontal lines are y equals because it goes through the y-axis. All vertical lines are x equals because it goes through the x-axis. So going the other way here, if we want to draw the line of x equals 3, we want to draw a line through the x-axis. So that's going to be a vertical line through +3. There we go. And put your arrows on the end. Some of you guys didn't do that on the quiz. And you really kind of need to indicate that that line goes on forever. Okay, so the arrows do that. They didn't necessarily take off for it, but it is kind of important for the reader. For the second one, where we want to graph y equals 4, remember that's a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line through +4 on the y-axis. Okay, and again, put your arrows on the end. Okay, so remember, you know, like the y equals, the top left and bottom right, y equals are the horizontal, x equals are the vertical. You guys good with that? Any questions on that? All right, so let's keep going then with the next section. And like I said, this is going to take maybe a little more time because it just has a little more algebra to it. We want to write the equation. It says, what is the equation of a line that has a slope of -4 and passes through the point 3, -5? All right, remember our equation from what we were doing before of y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, B is the y-intercept. So to do this one, what we do is we have to try, it tells us the slope is -4. So we already know this part, but it does not tell us the B value. So the whole concept is we got to figure out what B is. So to do that, we plug -4 into M. And then we plug the point, the 3 in for x, and the -5 in for y, and that'll help us solve for b. So let me show you. So -4 is our slope. So that's going to be -4. Our x is 3. So I'm going to put in parentheses 3. And I have plus b because I'm trying to solve for b. And then -5 is our y value. Okay, so our next line reads -5 equals -4 times 3 plus b. We have to solve this for b. If you get it set up correctly, solving for b is not so bad. So I'm going to multiply those two things, right? So -4 times 3 would be -12. So I have -5 equals -12 plus b. Then I'm just going to add 12 to both sides. And we're done. We're done with the b value. Pretty much done with the problem. So b comes out to be -5 plus 12 would be 7. So our equation then is y equals our slope, which is -4x, and our b value, which is +7. Okay, so your final answer should be y equals mx plus b. It should be in that form. But the m, the -4, was given right away, right? So that was kind of the easy part. But the hard part was finding this 7. We had to do all of this algebra to find the 7. All right, let's do one more together, then I'm going to have you guys try one. So let's do problem number 2. Our slope, which is our m, is going to be 5/2. So I'll start it. I'm going to use this problem right above it as a model. So I have y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to plug I'm plugging 5/2 in for m. I'm plugging -2 in for x because that's from my point. I have -2 in for x. And plugging 4 in for y. So we get 4 equals 5/2 times -2 plus b. We want to solve that for b. So to do that, I have to do 5/2 times -2. So you could use your calculator for that. Or you can multiply across the top. 5 times -2 is -10. And -10 divided by 2 is -5. Okay, or you can cancel out the 2's. 5 times -1 is -5. Okay. And it doesn't matter to me which way you do that, but we're going to get on the right side -5 plus b. So I have 4 equals -5 plus b. Okay, so I did like this step here, right? I multiplied those things. So now I'm going to add the 5 to both sides. And b equals 9. All right, so now we know our slope is 5/2. We know our b value is 9. So we want to write our equation y equals 5/2 x, because our slope is 5/2, plus 9. All right, any questions on either of those? What did you do with the 2? Yeah, so what I did was I just multiplied 5/2 times -2. So you could do that a bunch of ways. I mean, you know, if you just want to pull up your calculator and just do your 5/2 times
-2. That's going to give us -5, okay? So I just multiplied those things, and then that became -5. All right, good question. Anything else? Okay, could you guys then try problem number 7? So use the 2 problems above as a model. Take a couple minutes and try number 7, and then we'll go over it. All right, you guys did a nice job as I walked around and took a look at that. Couple mixed up our X's and Y's, but that's okay. We'll practice, that'll come. But remember, this is our Y value. So I do, for Y equals MX plus B. And I'm just looking at the problem right above it as my model. My 5 is my Y. So I get 5 equals, M is my slope, so that's 6. And then I put in parentheses my X, which is -1, plus B. Okay. Now I want to multiply those. So 6 times -1 is -6. So we get 5 equals -6 plus B. Add the 6 over to the other side. And B comes out to be 11. Now, just a couple of you, though, did all the hard work, but then didn't write the answer. Remember, this thing is your answer. Okay, so we have to write the equation. So the equation is Y equals 6X, because 6 was our slope, plus our B, which was 11. So our answer is Y equals 6X plus 11.